YouTube, Droid Freak here, and I'm here on my server, FreakCraft, where I'm in the Enderman XP farm that I built last episode. A very nice Enderman farm design, which is why I'm claiming that it is the best Enderman farm design ever. And I honestly believe it too. This is similar to Etho's Ender 2.0, except it has a few things to make it just a tad better. It has, first of all, it has hoppers under the Enderman, so that the Ender Pearls get actually picked up and ejected into the void after they go through an item sorter. So if I were to, say, throw a torch in there, it wouldn't, like, throw my torch into the void. That'd be somewhat rude. The other items besides Ender Pearls end up getting stuck in this hopper and or this chest. Although if this hopper gets full and there aren't any slots with Ender Pearls, then you run into issues. So don't drop all your stuff in there and leave it there. That'd be not good with this current item sorting system. Anyways, this is the FreakCraft 2.0 Enderman farm. And I don't mean FreakCraft Enderman farm 2.0. I mean FreakCraft 2.0 because we regenerated the map. But anyways, this is the Enderman farm, which I'm going to show you how to build. I think I'm calling it the Lazy Man's Enderman XP farm, aka the Ender to end all Enders. I personally like that second name, but it's a little bit of a mouthful, so I think we're going to stick with the Lazy Man's for the official title, because yeah, saying Ender to end all Enders every time you want to refer to this thing is kind of a mouthful. So, I'm going to show you guys how to build this thing. Gonna create a new world. Call it Ender Farm Demo. Game mode creative, of course. Just for building purposes. Oh, Rift Forest. Fun. So, the first thing that you have to do to build this farm is obviously get yourself into the end, which will require finding, a stronghold and everything in regular Minecraft, but in creative mode, I can just throw down my own end portal like so, fill it up with Eyes of Ender, and I'm good. Into the end. Next, what you'll probably want to do is take out the Ender Dragon. Where is he? There he is. Let me quick give myself an overpowered bow, and I'll be right back. Okay, I gave myself a power level 100 bow using the new BT give command. So this should be ridiculously easy. Hey, come here, dragon. Don't be shy. Do it. I think it's because the first time I hit him in his body, it does the most damage if you hit him in his head. Yup, dragon is dead. Not strictly necessary, but it is very helpful to be sure. Next, you probably want to find your spawn platform again, which I believe was right here, because I just came from it, I think. Let me go find that thing. There it is. There's my spawn platform. Now, clearly you'll want to, connect this thing to the mainland. Let me grab some green stained glass and just make a walkway to the mainland. Okay, that's somewhat respectable. I mean, honestly, stairs or half slabs would be a good thing, but unfortunately, there are no green stairs or half slabs yet, and I like green, especially for this build. So, we're going green. Mojang, get on it. Add stained clay or stained glass half slabs or wool half slabs. I don't know. Some sort of colored half slab would be brilliant. I really like the idea of stained clay half slabs, to be honest. The next thing that you want to do is get yourself down to the bottom of the end. Now, the way that you're probably going to want to do that in survival is to use an impromptu cobblestone generator, like so. I destroy all the blocks in there so the lava can flow down through all 5 of those blocks. Then I throw down some water at a couple locations, like so. You saw me do this in the time lapse, and did that not? What? that was weird. Anyways, you saw me do this in the time lapse, the time lapse montage in the FreakCraft episode where I built this on the server. So, pretty basic stuff. You'd basically just create a cobblestone generator that creates cobblestone all the way down to the bottom of the world. Now, once you've done that, you can get down to the bottom any number of ways. You can put water in the middle like I did. You can simply dig down one of the cobblestone pillars and build your way back up. But considering that I'm in creative, all I have to do is fly down to the bottom, and I will be directly above the void. So if I throw a block right there, stand on it, I am on Y1. Now you probably want to put your ladder in here and stuff, but I'm a creative, so I don't care at the moment. So I'm at X104 right now. I want to go over 128 blocks away from here. So if you're in survival, you want to do over 2 stacks. I did like 2 1/4 on the server. So you basically just take a bunch of blocks, preferably ones that Endermen cannot spawn on, such as glass, and make a walkway out over 128 blocks from here. Okay, once you've built your way out to far enough away from the main platform, you can get rid of all the stuff in your inventory if you're in creative mode. What you want to do is you want to build up at least 3 blocks above the void. In fact, you might have wanted to do that along the whole pathway if you'd thought ahead, because your main floor is going to be up higher than just above the void, so that you can have room for your ender pearl processing plant, assuming that you want to build one. So it's generally just a good idea to go a little ways above the void so that you have room for your ender pearl processing plant, because this room, which this leads into here, is going to be where the Endermen are standing on top of hoppers, assuming that you want to include the hoppers in your design, but I don't see why you wouldn't, because that's kind of a great thing to have. I made that 1 block too wide. This room that you're going to now create is going to be 7 blocks wide, but the 2 blocks in each end are going to be hoppers. So say the room is starting here. You want to build it 13 blocks farther along. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now you want a hopper. If I can grab one. Where are the hoppers? I'm not thinking right now. The hopper that all the items are going to end up in goes right here. So if you're in survival mode, then you want to go underneath that and set up a chest for now. So obviously you'd bring a walkway along from over there to do this. Place a hopper facing into that chest, and that will be the beginning of your hopper system. Now, if you simply extend this patch of stained glass out into 3 wide, then you can start laying down the hoppers that will form the rest of the floor here. You want all the hoppers along here to, to face into the one above the chest, and you want to add 1 row of hoppers on that side, and 2 rows of hoppers on each of these sides. These are where the Endermen are going to stand, and that is just for the output of Ender Pearls. So you just set up your hoppers along the sides, like so. Okay, now that you've got your hoppers down, you want to put carpets over them so nothing can sink into the hoppers, because that's rather annoying when you do that and sink it down into it. And just so that it looks better. Okay, once you've put the carpet over the hoppers, you want to put the walls behind the Endermen. At least, that's what I would do next. So we're doing it. You want to put these walls around the area where the Endermen will be standing on these bands of carpet on the sides. And you want to make these walls out of something that cannot be destroyed by punching. Unfortunately, carpet can, but there's not really anything else that works there other than carpet, so kind of stuck with it on that side. But for the walls, you can make them out of something that is not easily destroyed by punching, such as green stained clay. Although stained glass will not work so well here, which is why I didn't use it, because if you punch glass, it actually breaks rather fast. So that's the idea there. You want to bring these up to 3 blocks tall, like so. And this is almost more of an aesthetic thing, but you want to make these reasonably tall so that the Endermen and Ender Pearls and XP won't get out, basically. Although you could throw like half slabs and stuff in these areas. It's not exactly all necessary, but this, bring that row of blocks along there, then you've got a really great area to punch Endermen, because if there are a bunch of Endermen standing right here that can't move, you have a 1 block thick punching area. You just run along and punch them all. Nice and simple. Actually, I want to bring the staircase back. I don't want the staircase to be too close to the farm, otherwise we run the risk of XP falling down the staircase. Which is why I'm going to throw a little extension to the wall along here so that any XP that happens to go out into this hallway just sits in this area, it doesn't fall into the void. Now on this side, you want to build your enchanting area, like so. Enchanting table will go right there, I do believe, so I want to go out a little bit more. Throw down the enchanting table itself, which is, I believe it's a decoration. Rather functional rather than decorational, if you ask me. Bookshelves can go there, 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 there. Bring them across here, all around this side. That should be enough to max out your enchantment table. And in these slots, you could put stained glass there too. That's what I did on FreakCraft, but let's make it stained glass. Oh, fallen into the void. And then you want to put these back here, and this is where you can put your crafting tables and ender chests and so on. So like you put an ender chest here, put an anvil on it, put a crafting table there, what have you. So that's where you put all your functional things. Now over this entire area, you'll want a roof. Although you'll want to be able to get above this area for now. Assuming you're on survival mode, you want to make a tower, a temporary tower, so I'll build it out of cobble that goes up from, whoops, you could actually build a tower out of carpet, can't you? Can you put ladders on it? No. Too bad. That is kind of cool though, that you can tower up using carpet. Anyways, you'll build up a tower using some sort of temporary block like cobble, probably not dirt because Enderman can pick it up, but yeah, some sort of block that you don't mind tearing down later. So maybe snow blocks. Anyways, this will be a temporary tower to allow you to build the rings, because you need to build rings around here to prevent the Enderman from falling out of the drop zone. So you build these rings, which follow the contours of the drop zone, basically. You could build these out of half slabs, but I built them out of full blocks because, as previously mentioned, there are no green half slabs. So this would be a temporary block, but basically you want to start building these rings off of the sides. To place that temporary block, you first, whoops, get yourself on the ladder, fall onto this ledge, and then place it on the side of the ladder like that. Then you can get your way onto the temporary block, build, nope, you wouldn't want to place a block there. You'd want to place a temporary block there, and then just build around like so. Continue just building the thing around. Another temporary block there, and bring your way back. So that's how you build the rings. Pretty simple. And you want to build these until you get up to like 42 blocks above this level, which is Y4 for me. So I think it's supposed to be up to Y46. Okay guys, I'm up at Y46, and if I, whoops, I'm actually on peaceful. If I spawn an Enderman here and push him off, for example, he will have half a heart left. Yep. So you do want to go 42 blocks exactly above the ground, so that when you push Enderman off, they have half a heart. You can confirm that in survival because if you hang around down here for a little bit, you can see your entity count should start shooting up. Or maybe you have to walk away a little bit. Oh. Pair of them spawned. We're up to 6. So now if you were to head back up, using the ladder of course if you're in survival, that you can then push these guys into the gap, drop down using the ladder to prevent you from dying, and punch him. See if he dies in one hit. So that's how you would test that in survival to make sure you had the right height. But I'm going to actually switch back to peaceful to get these guys out of my way. So what you do now is you take a bunch of buttons and place them at this layer inside the ring that they get to half a heart by standing on. So this is the ring where they fall and reach half a heart. You want to place your buttons right inside that ring, and across from that level you want to place vines. So you want to build up 3 blocks from each of those rows of buttons, and you want to grab yourself some vines and spam vines all over here. I mean, obviously, if you're in survival, you might not want to waste as many vines, so you just put them on the top and bottom rows. The top row will grow down to the middle. You have to put them on the bottom row if you want it to start working right away, because the bottom vine is the one that matters for fall damage resetting, mostly. So that's what you do. Since I'm in creative, I can just spam the whole thing full, but they would grow eventually if you had them up at the top. I think. Maybe they need light to grow. Maybe I should test that sometime to see if vines grow without light, because there shouldn't really be any light around here. But what you want to do after you've done that is add basically one last ring around up here, around the vines, because you don't want any Endermen standing across from the vines, and this is actually going to be the floor of the first spawning pad. So from here you want to extend it out into the corners. It's not actually strictly necessary here, but it's part of the repeating pattern of the spawning floors. Next, you want to... what else do you need? You need pistons, that's right. You place the pistons next. You've got this ladder extending up. You place them directly across from head height if you're standing on the platform. You place 15 pistons in a row, the length of the hole underneath. Now you will need a transparent block, such as glass, or probably half slabs work equally well. Right here. And nope. The pistons were not quite extended out far enough. Remember, the length of the hole is where you want your pistons to be. And now you alternate between stained glass and regular blocks, or you alternate between transparent and opaque blocks there, because these blocks are going to have tripwire hooks above them, so they have to be transparent. Otherwise, the tripwire hooks will not work. So that's why the ones directly across from the standing area are transparent blocks. Like so. Oh. Like so. Now you just place a temporary block to hop your way out, so you're just like, hop out, destroy it. Probably want to use cobble for that, not glass, but there you go. Now, from this layer that you have here, you want to build out 4 blocks along each of these, 4 blocks out and 2 blocks wide out of each of these corners, so you place a total of 8 blocks in each corner. 4 blocks out from the platform that you have, and 2 blocks wide. So there should be a 1 block gap in between there. Same deal on the other side, the other 2 corners. Just place your blocks like so. Now, you're ready to start on the next layer, where you place a row of blocks that hooks around that glass and continues along all the pistons, and then hooks around the glass on the other end. Like so, across all the pistons and around the glass. Next, you want to grab yourself some redstone components, throw a comparator out of where each of the tripwire hooks will be, repeater on the default delay, at least that's what I used. I think that the default delay is the best thing to have them on, honestly. And then you run your redstone along here. So again, comparator out of the tripwire hook, 3 redstone dust running around the bend, your repeater on default delay facing back, and redstone all the way across. So, comparator, actually, we need to right click all these comparators to put them on subtraction mode. I forgot that on most of them. So you run the redstone around, place the repeater and have it run back, then run the redstone all along these pistons. So what this does, once I put in the tripwires, which should also be done right now, so you'll need tripwire hooks and string. Put tripwire hooks in those slots, and just run your tripwire along like this. Place your hook. and run tripwire along the other side like this. The reason why I'm placing it on the block like this is so that if I click on this block multiple times, it doesn't place multiple string. Whereas if I were to, like, click on this string, then it would place another string on top. So I want to click on the block so it only places one string in each block. That's the idea there. Now, if anything steps on this tripwire, then the pistons will pulse in and out. This ensures that if the Enderman gets stuck on the edge, that they will continually get pushed off the edge. So that's why these comparators are on subtraction mode, and you have these repeaters going around. It's basically just to make a simple comparator clock to pulse these pistons in and out multiple times. Now, you'll want to obviously do the exact same thing on this side. I'll probably... whoops. Asymmetrical there. Anyways, you're going to want to do the same thing on that side, which I'm going to use MCEdit to do right now. Actually, no, I'm not going to use MCEdit. MCEdit seems to have this bug where stained glass actually produces light when you copy it. So I'm not going to use MCEdit on this part. I'm just going to show you how to build a few layers and probably call that good for now. We'll see. Anyways, how you would build a copy of what we just built here on the other side. Then you would start on the second layer, which is only slightly different from the first layer. You place your spawning platform right on top of those tripwire hooks and on top of this tripwire. So to place it on top of the tripwire, you just look at the tripwire and right click. Similar trick to what we used placing the string on the wall. Just place your cursor on the tripwire and right click, running along. And now you want to put blocks on top of here to prevent Endermen from spawning and standing on top of your redstone. So you need to put stained glass on top of the bit with the redstone dust to prevent the wire from being cut. And the rest of this you can fill with solid blocks. Obviously you could use non-solid blocks in a lot of places where this design has solid blocks, but I'm assuming the non-solid blocks are more expensive. If you're using slabs, then your non-solid blocks will be cheaper, in which case you'll probably want to use entirely slabs along here instead of a mix of glass and solid blocks. So if you want to build the cheapest design possible, these would all be cobble slabs. Anyways, this is our spawning platform, where the Enderman will spawn, similar to the one down there, in fact a direct analog to the one down there. Now we want to bring this up, bring up your ladder, so that you can place your first piston off of the ladder, if for no other reason. Probably you want to use it to, climb up here as well, but you want to place your pistons like so. Again, do the alternating between solid and non-solid blocks thing. And, whoops, bring your pistons along over here. Oops. So many fails. Yeah. So bring your pistons along like this. Have your alternating blocks on either side, and bring your blocks out, and basically rinse and repeat. So from this point on, from the placing the pistons on, it is basically the exact same thing as what we did for the first layer. But this sort of shows you the repeating pattern that you get. These blocks in here prevent Endermen from spawning in here, because otherwise they would be able to spawn on this redstone and just stay standing there. So that's why we have the blocks in there. We need to have these blocks here to prevent the Enderman from, just walking off the edge. And then these blocks underneath are to prevent Endermen from standing here, because otherwise they'd be able to stand here between these two layers and get stuck, which is why we throw on the blocks on the side of the spawning platform. So on the first layer, these blocks in the corners are not necessary at all, because those blocks merely exist to prevent the layer below from having Endermen standing on it. One other thing about this design you may have noticed is that the block directly above the spawning platform is completely devoid of other blocks besides the temporary staircase, but that will be temporary ladder, but that'll be gone when the farm is done. So this ensures that you have maximum spawning rates on all your spawning spaces, because there are lots and lots of air blocks to be checked around the spawning space, because that's one of the factors in monster spawning, is the number of air blocks horizontally from the spawning point. So we got nice air blocks everywhere. And basically what you do is you take this design and copy it over to the other side, and then just copy the layer up and up and up. I made mine on the server 10 layers tall. I think I might expand that to be slightly taller at some point, but 10 layers tall gets really close to almost maxing out the amount of spawning, the amount of Endermen that can spawn. So I'm going to finish this off. I'll probably use MCEdit for this and just replace the stained glass with regular glass so it doesn't cause a light for some reason. I don't know why stained glass would glow. Anyways, I'm going to replace the stained glass with regular glass, copy it all with MCEdit, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, so here's the copied end product. You can see that all these stained glass blocks have been replaced with regular glass. Alright, I hadn't finished the final layer when I copied it. So I think I'll actually just tear that out. On the last layer, when you want to cap it all off, you'll just want to place stained glass or any other non-solid block above all the points where Endermen might be able to spawn. So here, on top of the redstone. Right, where you usually place these blocks. By the way, you can place these blocks by aiming at the redstone wiring underneath. If you didn't know that if you hold shift and right click on the block underneath, then you'll place above it. I mean, the reason why you hold shift is so that you don't like adjust the comparator or something like that. Let me aim myself at the redstone and place a bunch of stuff there. All these blocks would not be here if you hadn't started on this last layer yet. So all this would be air. You want to fill... Actually, you don't need to fill that in at all. Because... yeah, you don't mind Enderman spawning here, obviously, because that is your spawning pad. And, oh, I ended up copying the vines all the way up. I don't know how I feel about that. And, oh, and the vines on this side are placed on the wrong side of the blocks. MCEdit fails. I'm gonna go fix that, actually. No, I'm not. Because I placed all the stained glass up there, and that's going to start doing lighting updates. You know what, I'll just turn it back into regular glass again. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I had to replace the stained glass with glass once again, and I removed all the vines, and I actually copied one layer higher so that it now has 15 layers, so that we see what it's like to have 1.5 times as many layers as the FreakCraft farm did. Now what you want to do is yeah, once we've finished all the spawning floors, which we have, then we want to tear down the temporary cobblestone pillar, or whatever you built it out of, whatever your temporary block is, you tear down the pillar. So once you've got that done, then the spawning of your farm should be pretty much finished. Although you do want to prevent Endermen from spawning in these 4 blocks. There. Just somehow prevent them from spawning there. Could be light, could be anything. Well, also I think Endermen are able to spawn on those carpets, so you need to light this up somehow. But mine, I lit it up from underneath with glowstone. I had some glowstone in the floor of the room underneath. So, somewhat similar to this. You know what I forgot? I forgot, like, the most important part. I'm an idiot. Okay, so you find the central point of your farm, right? You want to go down 1 block below that. Obviously, you'll have to do this from underneath in survival mode. But 1 block below the center point, you want to place a fence post. Could be cobblestone wall, could be nether brick fence, does not matter, as long as it is 1.5 blocks tall. So a regular fence post works quite nicely. Oh. And you take some... It actually is the light level here lit up from the stained glass, which is apparently locked chest. And you want to take some stairs of your choice, and whoops, place them facing upwards around there, like so, and place water in the center, like so. So this is where the TNT is going to land if you use TNT to kill the mobs. Very important. I'm not sure why I didn't remember that until now. It's because I've been focusing on the spawning layer. The spawning layers above. So when you put the roof on, it should be a 2 block tall roof. I like using glass so it's not quite as claustrophobic. You leave a gap directly above there so that when you're farming XP, you will grab your tools and light the TNT like such, and it will fall on the water. But because there's a fence post there, this is all just 1 block below the ground, and it's nice and easy to just run right through it, unlike a water source above the ground, which actually slows you down quite a bit. I'm not sure why this makes that much of a difference, that it slows you down less, but it does. So, that's cool. A nice way to hide your water in the floor so that it is easy to use. And experience does not actually fall down past the fence. I'm not sure why, but I tested that in creative when I was first designing the thing. First I was trying to get XP to fall through a fence, and it wouldn't for me. So XP cannot fall around the central post of a fence for some reason. Does not make sense to me, but that is definitely the case. Items can fall through there, but not XP. So, beats me why, but that is the case. So you take your roof across here, leaving that gap in there, which looks a bit odd from the side, but whoever looks at their roof from the side. It looks a bit odd here too. I don't know what you could do about that except make your roof out of something besides the glass. But you definitely want there to be blocks around the TNT when you place it so that it doesn't fly off to the side, because it needs to be very precisely in the center when it blows up, otherwise not all the Endermen will die. Let me turn myself to hard. I think it's basically done except for the Ender Pearl system, which you may or may not want to build. It'll balance out. pretty sure. It's taking them a little while to spawn, but not that long, relatively. I mean, if you just walk up to the farm, there would already be a bunch spawned by the time you get here. A couple of them are dying, but I think that's because they landed on a layer below theirs in midair, like they were trying to walk off to the side in midair, because you can actually do that in Minecraft. So we're about full now. A few more falling. I think we're good. Set off the TNT. And loads of XP. Wahahaha. So you pick up all your XP. I should game mode myself survival so that I can see how much XP I got. If it's working correctly, I should get around level 20 from one TNT blast. Oh, 77. I may or may not have killed an ender dragon. Put my TNT down. All those guys have been spawning. I already got XP. Well, I got XP from myself dying, and I got 1 level. I just mostly went into the void. Anyways, it's like I had 77 levels on me, and I got 1. But then again, most of the XP did go into the void. So, as you can see, plenty of XP to pick up. Should bring me up to around level 20, maybe slightly above, because I started off at level 1. Yep, we're going up to level 21. So the first blast will take you around to around level 20. As you can see, the Endermen are already full up, even as I'm picking up the last bits of XP. Which is why I claim that this farm maxes out the rate that you can pick up XP. I don't know if you could really be continuously picking up XP with this farm, but by the time you're done picking up XP, you're ready to start picking it up again, basically. Because by the time you're done, it's full of Endermen again. Definitely got a lot of spawning going on in this farm, because it's 15 blocks long, and it has split spawning, and it's max efficiency because of the air block thing that I mentioned in passing, that all of the blocks next to the blocks the Endermen spawn in are air blocks. So yeah, it's basically max efficiency. And as you saw, I got slightly below level 30, that's pretty typical. But this farm is designed to work just as well as punching, so it's easy to bring yourself up to a total of 30. I'm gonna game mode myself C, grab a bunch of books. Where are our books, anyways? Materials? No. Miscellaneous. It's a book of Quill. I'm not sure. Do it the easy way. Book. Miscellaneous. So it is a miscellaneous. I couldn't find it. Anyways, give myself a bunch of that. Go back into survival. Just to blow off some levels. As you can see, got my level 30 enchants going on. Unbreaking 3 is pretty decent. And then you just pop down some more TNT, light it off. Should bring me to level 20 or 21, 22, something around there. Add a couple levels to start off with, just from my couple of punches. So this should take me above 20. 21, almost 22. So, guys are actually not quite done spawning right now. They're done spawning by the time TNT goes off about. Well, that guy didn't get hurt. Sorry, sucker, gotta die. Anyways, pretty ridiculously fast spawn rates. Definitely maxes out the rate that you can punch at, and if not completely, nearly maxes out the rate that you can kill mobs with TNT. You can probably get slightly faster by extending it upwards. I only went up to 15 layers, which, if I fly up there, is not, I believe, the highest that you can go. The highest you can go is around Y128, because above 128 blocks away from the player, the Enderman will stop spawning. So obviously, this will achieve nothing going above 128. And we are at 110, so we're reasonably close to that. This is getting near the limit of the height. You could go a few layers higher up than this, because the actual spawning is on layer... Oops. What's that? No! I'm trying to stand. Okay. Around layer 105 is where the top of the spawning pad is here, so I think you could go up... Well, you could go up another 23 blocks, divide by 4. It's around 5 more layers. So about around 20 layers is the max. This one is 15, the one on FreakCraft is 10. But in any case, you're getting a very fast Enderman XP farm. The reason why some of these guys are spawning now is because they were despawning while I was up in the air. Yep, I got it full up. Pick up all to XPs. Wahahaha. So that's my tutorial on how to build this thing. I honestly don't think that I want to make a tutorial on my item sorting system, because it didn't end up being all that elegant. But, you know, just do whatever you want with the ender pearls down there. Just ideally make sure that they don't back up, and ideally make sure that if someone dies here, for example, if someone were to look at some Endermen and walk up to them like, I want to die. Trust me, it happens. If that were to happen, you want to make sure that the person's items don't get, you know, chucked into the void. So you probably want to have some sort of failsafe to make sure that only ender pearls get chucked into the void. Which is what I ended up doing. But, oh. Gotta go into creative before I fall to my death. Woo! I love that particle effect that you get when you hit the ground. And you get that too when the Endermen fall down in this farm. I haven't been noticing it that much, but it definitely is there, isn't it? Should be. What sort of particles do you get? Oh yeah, plenty of hopper particles flying everywhere. Oh man, look at that. It's delicious. I usually don't notice because there's XP all over my face. But yeah. Nice particle effects going on. Anyways, guys, that is basically how you build a farm. It's sort of a bare bones version without the ender chest and all that stuff, the ender pearls and stuff. But this is basically it. Showed you how to build, made you things happy. You now know how to build the best Enderman XP farm ever. Now, I'm not sure if it completely spawns faster than any other farm ever built, but I think it's about as fast as you can go. If you build this up to the limit, to around 20 layers, then you've got 15 times 4 times 20 spawning spaces. That is a lot. I'm not sure precisely how many, but that is definitely pretty big. And you can destroy those all with TNT. I'm pretty sure that this is about the most spawning spaces you can fit above TNT without doing fancy multi-stage piston pushers. Because as you can see, these layers are very compactly packed next to each other. The pistons are nearly back-to-back. I mean, obviously, you can't make them directly back-to-back without making them even down there, which is pointless because the TNT ends up on the center of a block, so obviously odd makes sense. So yeah, it's basically as compact as you can go in terms of fitting the two spawning layers right next to each other. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably be the next FreakCraft episode, which is going to be pretty sweet. I'm going to build a ton of farms of various sorts, so look forward to that, and I will see you guys in the next video, which I just said. I said it again. I keep saying it now. Thanks for watching.